IELTS Listening Mini Practice Test. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. First, you have some time to look at the question. Listen carefully and answer 1 to 20.
Urban water management has become a critical issue as cities continue to expand rapidly. One of the major causes of water shortages is urban expansion, which places enormous pressure on existing infrastructure. Traditional water systems rely heavily on underground reservoirs, many of which are now overstressed. In fact, the age of some water pipelines exceeds 50 years, making them vulnerable to damage. As a result, water loss is often caused by undetected leaks, which can waste significant amounts of treated water. To address this, modern monitoring increasingly relies on digital sensors that detect changes in pressure. Another important solution is rainwater harvesting, which can reduce overall demand by up to 30%. Collection usually occurs on rooftop surfaces, where rainwater is easily captured. This stored water is mainly used for domestic purposes such as cleaning or flushing toilets. Treatment costs are relatively low compared to other supply methods, and government incentives often include tax rebates to encourage installation. Wastewater recycling is also becoming more common in urban areas. However, recycled water is unsuitable for direct consumption and must be carefully treated. It is most commonly reused in agricultural irrigation, particularly in regions facing water scarcity. Advanced filtration processes remove harmful bacteria, but public concern often relates to health and safety. Education campaigns play a key role in improving public acceptance. Looking ahead, future strategies focus heavily on sustainability. Desalination plants, while effective, are extremely energy-intensive. Smart meters have been shown to reduce household consumption by increasing awareness. Climate change is expected to affect rainfall patterns, making long-term planning essential. Such planning requires strong political commitment, as well as international cooperation to support knowledge sharing. Ultimately, the overall success of urban water management depends on public cooperation.
Now turn to Section 2. First, you have some time to look at the question. Listen carefully and answer 21 to 40.
Today's lecture focuses on the psychology of decision-making and the various factors that influence the choices we make every day. While many people believe decisions are carefully planned, research shows that most are emotionally driven rather than purely rational. One important concept is cognitive bias, which refers to systematic errors in thinking. For example, confirmation bias leads individuals to ignore information that conflicts with their existing beliefs. Another related concept is heuristics, or mental shortcuts, which help us make quick decisions but can sometimes result in mistakes. A well-known example is availability bias, where people overestimate the likelihood of rare events simply because they are memorable. Stress also plays a significant role, often reducing the quality of decisions, especially under time pressure. In such situations, individuals tend to rely on intuitive responses rather than careful analysis. Decision-making in groups introduces additional complexity. Leadership roles can strongly influence outcomes, and groupthink may occur when the desire for consensus discourages critical evaluation. Social media further shapes decisions by limiting exposure to alternative viewpoints through algorithm-driven content. Although algorithms assist in filtering information, they do not remove bias entirely. Therefore, the speaker cautions against relying solely on personal experience or expert opinion. Awareness of bias does not eliminate mistakes, but it can significantly reduce their negative impact. Education plays an important role by strengthening reflection and encouraging individuals to question assumptions. Cultural background also affects decision preferences, particularly in financial contexts where optimism bias is common. In conclusion, the The lecturer recommends delaying important choices whenever possible and emphasizes that ethical decisions require careful value judgment. Ultimately, better decisions depend not on technology alone, but on increased awareness of how our minds work.
That's the end of the test. Check your answer here in the next screen.